Everyone, so I was thinking about this topic or like this idea. How do you know something is working or not? It can be anything, okay? And I'm not talking about machines, all right. I am talking about, in general, the circumstances that happen in our life, the choices we make, the decisions we make, and maybe to some extent, it might be related to machines as well, but the reason I said not machines because those are very well calibrated beings. Machines are more like, you have to run a couple of codes, you have to run a certain mechanisms, and if it is rightly done, then that thing works. It's like very predictable. It's not completely circumstantial. The only circumstance needed is like, is it well charged, does it have electric supply, and so on and so forth. Anyway, but coming back to humans, or coming back to the choices that we make, the decisions that we make, or our pursuits for that matter. So, how do you really know if it is working or not? Like the process, it's working or not? Well, in my opinion, I think you will never know it. Like you will never know it before entering, before starting it, before pursuing it. Like we can take an example here. Let's say you want to join some institution or a university. Now, in order to join that university, there are certain steps that you have to be a part of, certain processes. Like you have to maybe send a mail to the supervisor, you have to maybe send a mail to the university team. Then they'll tell you that this is our application cycle. Then when the application cycle starts, then there are certain documents that you have to send, and then there is the overall verification process and various things that happen to the point when you actually get your offer letter and you have joined the institution itself. Now that's the whole process, right? But if we really break this process down, it's a very slow process. It doesn't happen in a day or two. It takes maybe days, it maybe takes weeks, and it might even take months, depending on what sort of program you are entering, what sort of an institution it is, and so on and so forth. But now if we have to really get into the depth of this whole example, then let's understand it from both ends, from the perspective of a university as well, and from the perspective of you as well, who is the applicant. Let's say you have applied, and after you have applied, you have to wait for some time. Okay, you have to wait because the university is going to respond to you. Now, depending on what the load the university has, it is going to respond. And by this, what I mean is the person handling the mails, depending on how well that person is able to address each and every mail properly, that will define how quickly you're going to get a response. Okay, and there are various things. Let's say that he has got to work at 9 a.m. and you have sent a mail at 8:30 or 8:45 a.m. Maybe chances are the first mail that he sees is your mail and he just addresses it there and then. So you might get a reply instantly. Or it might happen that you have sent a mail at night and now there are other mails that are there in his mail ID or mailbox. So now he has set of mails that he has to go through, after which he might get a mail that is sent by you. Alright, that's again a circumstance. So that creates a wait time for you. So now you're waiting here because you haven't got a response from them. Now what happens? They respond to you. And now with that response, they have asked for certain documents. Let's say they have asked for a resume, they have asked for a statement of purpose, a motivation letter, or various other documents that are needed. Now, once they have sent that, now it is wait time for them, because as long as you don't prepare a proper resume or a SOP or a motivation letter that is right for the program, you won't be sending it right. So you might even take 1 day, you might take 2 days, you might even take 3 days, or maybe more than that. But depending on that, they'll be waiting. So now the wait time is on their end. And then once you have sent that, then they'll ask for something else, or maybe they'll verify it. So that verification process takes a bit more time, and again the wait time is on your end now. And once they have verified, then they send you a response, and then you send. So you see, with every mail that is being sent, the wait time is being transferred to either of the parties that are involved. and that's the whole process. Another nuance here is, when you send a mail, you're just one person who is sending a mail, and when you receive a mail, you're just one person who is receiving the mail, right? Like on your end, you're just talking to that one university or that one person who is handling the university's mailbox. But for that person, there are so many people. There are like maybe grievance mails, there are maybe issue mails, and apart from that, there are also maybe mails from more candidates like you. So that also affects the wait time. And when that wait time, hits you, like you're sitting in your room and you're like, I haven't got a response from these guys yet, and that really creates a block or a loop in your mind where you start thinking that, is this even working? Are they even watching? Are they even going through my documents that I've sent, and so on and so forth. It is very natural to think that, to a point where you might feel that, is it really, right one for me? Because self-doubting is very, it's something that you don't have to pay for. So you keep on self-doubting, and it's a very natural thing. Everyone does it. I also do it at times. But yeah, that's that. But when you add this level of nuance or this kind of nuance to your thoughts, then I think things get a bit easier, and that's when maybe, answering the question, is it working or not, gets a bit more clearer for you, rather than the overall anxiety that's caused when you don't have clarity. Even now you don't have clarity, but at least you have the clarity about the whole process. So that really helps in a way, right? Another thing that I want to talk about is, when we think that, is this working or not, a lot of times we will never know if something is working or not, especially when you are in the start phase of something. Like you are at a start point of a marathon, you can't really predict how well you are going to complete the run. Yes, you might have trained well, you might have your great diet, you might have everything amazing, like it's all well curated so that you perform well. So yes, you will perform well, but you don't know how, and you don't even know what kind of circumstances you might have to face. Chances are, I'm not saying it's a very certain thing, but chances are it might happen that you are running a slope and there might be a small stone or something, just a small stone, but you land on it and you might get a cramp, or you might get some sort of some sort of uncertainty. I don't even want to name anything at this point. Maybe I'm not getting the right word as well, but let's not get to the specifics of it. But yeah, you don't know. It's a complete certain run, but it's still an uncertain route. The process is uncertain. The run is definitely certain. You're going to run it, you're going to complete it. That's for certain. So similarly, you are going to apply, you are going to get that thing. That's for certain. But how you are going to get it, you will never know. The only way to know it is when that whole process has has been done. The whole process is done, and either you have been admitted, so now you can look back and think that, okay, I made that application, then I got this mail, then that, and that is how I landed this thing. Maybe an admission to some university, maybe some job, maybe anything. Okay, that's how you can look back. Or let's say, worst case scenario, you did not get that application forward, you did not get through the process, and you were rejected. So now when you look back, you can still look back, okay, that this was the point where they rejected me, and I asked them that what was the reason, and they told the reason, right? So now you can note down that reason and you can write it out. That's another way of looking at it. But in both the cases, you see, you get a certain response only when the whole process is done. You never get it when you are at the beginning of the process, no matter how much certainty you need. Okay, now it's raining. So what I am trying to say here is that certainty can only be achieved once the whole process is done. That's when you can certainly say that this is how it worked, that is how it went, this is what I did, this is the person I met, he taught me that, she taught me that, and I used it here, and so on and so forth, and everything. Okay, that's the kind of certainty you achieve when all of that whole process is done. You can't achieve it at the very initial stage, as I have mentioned earlier. And interestingly, I have an example for this. So there was once an application that I had made at a certain organization, and I was very excited about the role, okay, but I got rejected within 3 days, They didn't even interview me. I was just not the right candidate for them just by seeing my resume, okay. But I was like, that's totally all right, and that ended. But interestingly, after 2 months or maybe after 1 month, this HR calls me back again, and I had a word with her, and she tells me that we had contacted you for an opportunity earlier which was not the right one for you, but right now we have two opportunities. And she explained me both of those, and I was like, yeah, this looks good. So we went ahead with that whole process, and I was interviewed, and eventually after a certain processes and steps, I got that job, and that was it. Now when I look back, I have this whole story that I made first application that did not go well. Then they contacted me after a month, and then it went well, and I got the job. That's how I can say it now. But if I were at the very stage where I was making that application, I wouldn't have said this with so much certainty. I wouldn't have been able to say it at all that I'm going to apply to this job, and then they're going to reject me in 3 days, and then after a month the HR is going to come back again with two other roles which I am not which I don't even know, okay, which I don't even know, and then I'm going to get one of those roles. That's just how it's going to happen. That's the certainty I know. I can't say that. No one can say that. I mean, unless you have some crazy superpowers, you will be able to say that. But I don't know. Okay, I don't know about that. So that's how it is. So now when I say that, like the whole crux of this video, if I have to really come to, then I'm not trying to say that you have to wait for the whole process to end, or you have to wait for this or that. But the only thing that I am saying is, a lot of times the sort of clarity that you are looking for when you are going through the rut, through the process, you won't get that clarity. And the only clarity you can get is when I am saying right now that clarity lies at the end of the process. So the only clarity you have is to just maybe trust the process, to just keep on going. Like they say, if you have to climb a mountain, you don't really think about how you are going to do it all. You're just going to be thinking about the first step that you are going to take, the the rest that you are going to take after a certain distance that you have climbed, and so on. That's how it goes. So you can't really say that, okay, I am going to do this in this way only. Well, it's fair to think that way, but a lot of times things don't go as planned, and it's the truth of life. Okay, it's just how it is. You can plan everything, yet the life might pan out in a very different manner, but that doesn't mean it will pan out in a wrong manner. Whatever is right for you is how life pans out. So you just have to go out, keep shooting your shots, do what is needed, and that's just that. You just got to take your chances as long as you can, and you should. Maybe that's how you're going to find out what is right for you and what is not. And the the quicker you are with this, the earlier you are going to find out what is right for you and what is not. So that's that.